Good morning, and welcome to episode 2 of Love, Light, and a Touch of Badass. I'm Christine, I'm your host, and I'm here to talk to you today a little about what we're about, which I already know from the other day. We talked about authenticity, and I guess love and light are pretty clear. Um, talking about from our heart and how we feel and the things that make us happy and vibrate at the right frequency with the universe, right? But you might want to know a little bit more about the badass. And when I'm talking about balancing these things with badass, well, I'm not talking about being an asshole, an asshat, an ass clown, or a butthead. I'm talking about being a badass. So, what's a badass? Well, badass, there's someone who does the stuff that other people are afraid to do. Someone who refuses to quit. They have courage. They're brave. They make things happen. They, no matter how tough it gets, they keep on going. They take action in spite of fear. And that leads me into today's topic, which is going to be about fear. So, technically, what is fear? It's really an unpleasant emotion. It's when we feel like we're in danger, something is going to cause pain or a threat. And when we are afraid of something, it will go and cause us not to continue to complete it. So, what are the big things that we get afraid of? Well, we have fear of rejection, we have fear of failure, we also have a fear of success. And there's other things that are out there too, but I'd say those are the three big ones. We get afraid somebody's going to reject us. It's going to hit a wound, probably from when we were young, about abandonment or feeling like we're alone, going to be left alone. And that's when a lot of people can turn into loners. And they don't have to turn into it because of fear of rejection, but they can turn loner because it's just something that they enjoy. Maybe they enjoy being by themselves. Those people, that's kind of like me. I'm a loner. Um, they're pretty happy with themselves, though. They do have friends. They face fear in the face. The loners are very strong with that. The fear of rejection can cause us to back away from a lot of communication. The fear of failure, the fear of success, those things can cause a lot of inaction, inactivity. It's really a bad thing. And how do we face it? How do we get over the hump so that these things that aren't going to really hurt us, they aren't going to put us in danger, all they do is create us to not get to where we want to be. So let's start with the rejection. Is somebody you want to meet, you don't go forward with it for whatever reason. Just maybe you have stuff going on in your life. Maybe they're just not for you. And then you're kind of going, I don't know, hot and cold. We see that a lot today. And, you're sending mixed messages to somebody. Well, that's on you, and you got to kind of figure your stuff out. It's no different with the fear of failure or the fear of success, right? It's kind of the same thing. You're stepping into this. You're not fully vested. You didn't make your action plan. You're not feeling like you're going to take this to the next level. You procrastinate. You pick it up. You put it down. You pick it up. You put it down. You've gone hot and cold with your entrepreneurship or your career, and it doesn't take off the ground. Well, that could be because you failed at other things in the past, or maybe you have something really good and you're afraid to be in that spotlight. Maybe you're afraid to make it happen. This is all real stuff that goes through us, that the badass is going to take that fear and they're going to run with it. And that's what I want you to do. Make a goal for today. Figure something you want to complete and start completing it. You got to do this things in steps, in stages, and start working when you're working on yourself and you want to get to this goal. Yesterday, I said to not make your goals wishy washy. Well, if you're getting nothing done, start them small. Okay. But if you're in the middle of trying to really make something happen and you just can't get there, we're going to start to get into inside questions to help you get to that. What can you do to make this happen? What can you do to make something change? Change is the key here. If we don't have change in our life, we're going to continue down the identical path that we're already on. It's like a groundhog day. We just get stuck on the same track. We keep doing the same thing and we don't improve. We just go and keep everything at the status quo. The status quo is okay for a little while, but then all of a sudden we've got to make some changes. We have to have those goals being attained. We've got to make changes in our life, our relationships, the people that are around us. We've got to make things, these challenges, just that might seem out of this world, we want to make them happen. What does that do for us? Well, it makes us not fear failure anymore because the person who faces the failure and accepts the failure, but still picks up and tries a different way, turns into a success. Too many times we drop it because the first way didn't work. Well, we have to look into self and find out, why did I fail? What did I do that I could change to actually turn this into a success? Excuse me. Maybe I didn't have an action plan. If I didn't have the action plan, well, now you figured out what the problem is. You got the ding, ding, ding going on. You're saying, okay, let me go get the action plan together so I can go and get a different result. Now you got the plan. You've got it figured out. What else can stop you? Hmm, procrastination. Maybe I don't feel like doing that today. Maybe I've been doing this on top of a full time and a part time job, and it just seems too overwhelming. Maybe I don't have the time. Maybe I'm not getting enough sleep. So, what do? You start getting your sleep, and then you sit there looking at it and you go, I didn't get it done. I didn't get it done. And you pick it up and you work on it, and you start pulling yourself out of the rut. You start getting pieces done bit by bit. You accomplish things, you learn things. You're going to feel the success happening, even if it's not paying off in money, it's paying off in completion, which is going to actually build you up to keep on going. That is success. Success is knowing I can start, knowing I can finish, knowing I got to the completion of what I was going to do, and then opening it up to the next piece. It comes in stages and it comes with persistence. And that's what the badass is doing. They're taking that fear. They don't believe in the words, I can't. The words that fit is more of, I don't want to. And when I don't want to comes into play, that's a whole different scenario. I can't, I don't like to live by those words. I can do it. I can make it happen. I believe in myself. I believe in you that you can make your goals happen. Not wanting to, well, that's a little different story. That's not on the same page. It's not a goal for you if you do not want to make that happen. So when we step into this fear and we're going back into things from childhood, which I'm really not trying to get into too far with, but it can go into different attachment styles, that maybe things happened and you didn't really feel good. You had some different things happen. You feel this rejection coming through, abandonment issues coming through. A lot of that does come into play, but it's about facing the fears. And when we face the fears, we're no longer afraid of them. When it comes down to the anxiety of things that we feel, only about 6% of the things that we worry about actually manifest. It's a very low number. And when you hear that low of a number, you say, what's wrong with me? Fear is about danger, right? So, what is so dangerous about being successful? And what is so dangerous about being a failure? What is so dangerous about feeling rejection? It's all a blow to the ego. It's a blow to the ego. And when we go into working more with humility, being that humble person, well, we're not looking into how that it hits that ego because the ego isn't really there. We're going into how it makes us feel to do something, to deliver something. Maybe it's a podcast like this and you want to help people. And I do it very organic. I'm not really doing a lot of edits because I want it to be as authentic as I can be, just like you're actually talking to me at my kitchen table. That's why I do very few edits on this. That's how I want it to be. And so when I do it that way, even though someone else is probably saying, "Oh, she didn't edit this." You're right, I didn't because I want it to be like you're having a conversation with me. I want it to be personal. And that was my goal with this. So it's about how you want it to be, how you want to deliver, and how you make this happen to create success. Success for me in this case is maybe I can help somebody. Doesn't have to be everybody, the entire world, but help somebody. If somebody is feeling failure, that ego has come into play. Oh, I can't do anything right. You can't sit there with that negative self talk. Okay. You have to sit there and say, I'm going to try. Okay. I'm going to try. I want to see what I can do today. Let me see if I can get past this one thing I have to learn. And you learn it and you move on. We take these things in steps. We don't build Rome in the day. We try to build it up a little at a time and get it to completion. You can do that same thing with this fear of rejection. Well, why do I feel that way? Well, could be some stuff from the past. And maybe I just don't feel like feeling that pain again, getting into a new relationship. Well, then that's up to you. Don't go into the new relationship. But I would try to change what I'm doing in that. Maybe I talk to different people. Maybe I just back away from dating, or maybe I finish up the business I already have going on if it's not for me. Maybe I just take a break from it for a while and work on myself and work on my hopes and dreams so that I'm happiest because then maybe I can step into something because I'm happy with who I am at the core instead of trying to please everybody else. Many times I've seen this when I've done the psychic readings on people who are staying in things just because they feel they have responsibility or they feel that they've been in it for so long that time was vested. But what's happening is they're not really getting what they need out of it. And they prolong it, they procrastinate it, they don't move on with it. They're not working on improving it. They're kind of just, again, sitting in the status quo. And then things just kind of start missing from it. Next thing you know, they're in a communication breakdown. One person might be trying to talk, the other one might not be trying to at all. Maybe neither one is, and it just starts to fall by the wayside, but still nothing happens. It doesn't move forward, it doesn't boom back, it just kind of stays there. And that's again going into the groundhog day of relationship life. And is that what I want? Or do I want to be with somebody who uplifts me, somebody who vibrates me, somebody who makes me happy that I look forward to seeing, but is calm and comfortable and makes me happy without a lot of drama. That's the difference that you might see just by staying in something versus living your authentic life and feeling really good about things. It's the same thing with this fear for the failure, fear for the success. Some people have a fear of selling as well. But all of these things, you can dive in, you can attack them, you can get ahead of them by being the badass that you are. It takes time. It takes practice. If you're not somebody who can stand up in front of a room and public speak, you're not going to do it in a day. But if you go and start addressing problems, let's say you're a manager and you need to address something with your staff, and maybe you do it best one on one, one at a time. Maybe you do it best in a group setting. You're going to start to do these things, improve the communication skills, and you will find that you're better at it than you thought. It just takes practice. It's not going to come to you with everything overnight. Everything's going to take practice. The more you practice, the more you look fear in the ugly face. When you get rid of the fear, you're going to feel, wow, I can do this. I mastered this. I'm good at it. And I feel really good about myself. I'm proud of myself. I believed in myself. I love myself. All those things that we want to say on a daily basis so that we're keeping ourselves in a good, positive vibration. And why are we getting rid of this fear and going to this positive vibration? Because what does the universe respond to? I spoke about it the other day. It responds to our vibration, it responds to our frequency. It does not respond to the words we speak. So we want to feel that uplifted feel, not that ew, yuck, I don't like that feeling, that fear, that something doesn't feel right. That isn't very good. That's that erratic stuff that we don't want to feel. We want to feel light. We want to feel good about things. And we're feeling light and good about things. Um, we're happy. We realize things were easy to deal with. Maybe you're afraid to talk to somebody because you don't know how they're going to react to you because your last interaction wasn't so good. And you know what you do? You just say, hey, what's going on? If the interaction is fine, maybe that other person had a really bad day and you got them on a really bad day, but you didn't really take the time to find out that it was a bad day for them. We're overthinking what someone is going to do, how they're going to react, and we really need to lighten that down and feel better about our communications and bridges with people to keep these relationships strong and flowing. Today's society, we're doing too much of not having that connection with people. It's a lot less with the texting and the messages. We miss that tone that we have with the voice of people. Knowing if we're dealing with sarcasm through text messaging, I find that to be a tough one to understand. Um, it's really just getting into, you know what, this is the way I am, and let me try to make someone understand if they don't understand, and just be compassionate to someone else as well. Um, that's getting a little further than I wanted to about the fears today, but it is how we can balance things a little bit better. And when we get to that balance and we just feel like we're in a good space, we're going to keep that vibration going on a positive level. We're not going to feel that junk come on into play when we feel that nasty thing called fear. And that fear, let's see if we can lose a little of that this week. Let's see what we can work on, what goals we can put out there. Let's make them strong. Let's make a good goal for the week and try to attack that goal. And then add in another one and keep on going with this. Let's start it like a challenge because that's what a badass would do. Is a badass is going to go and take the challenge and say, I have no fear. I'm going to put it out there. And I'm going to put it out there with that love and light that we talked about at the beginning. We're going to talk from our heart. We're going to talk from our soul. We're going to be understanding to other people. And we're going to feel better about self. I don't know. Hold the door for a little old lady. Make them feel good. Anything you want to do to just make you feel good, I challenge you to add that into. And just to uplift a little bit, feel good about yourself and feel good about how we treat other people. I think we're missing a little of that on this planet. I think that just unconditional love and kindness is so needed in this world today. I don't know, buy the coffee for the person in the drive through behind you. Uh, Maybe somebody does that back for you. It's called karma, and it does come back to us. So don't ever forget about that. Be a good, positive source of it. So give out the good, receive the good back. I really believe in that. The universe is always watching your back. I believe that you can go and face these challenges. Welcome to being a badass in a beautiful, light way. And as we go on to different challenges in the next episode, I'd love to hear back from you at what you want to talk about. Maybe it's about loners, maybe about communication breakdown, maybe it's about false positives. Let me know. You can reach out to me at Christine, Kristene, Queen of Cups, on my Facebook page. You can also email me at queenchristine, that's with an ENE, at gmail.com or hotmail.com. Until next time, I hope you have a fabulous week. I love you, I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon.